This evening, third drafting of new domestic violence legislation in the final stage. Golden Grove woman charged with threatening Guyana's president and attempting to incite hostility. Competitive bidding for oil and gas blocks open to locals, VP Jagdeo. In the region, Argentinians blame government and IMF for rising poverty and inflation. And internationally, health workers in Mozambique launch awareness campaign on cholera. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for April 14, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up is an update on the proposed new domestic violence legislation in Guyana. The government is in the final stage of drafting the legislation, which will aim to address the societal issue of domestic violence affecting Guyanese families. According to Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindhya Prasad, consultations were held with important agencies, including the Guyana Bar Association and the Women's Lawyers Association, to ensure that the proposed legislation caters to newer forms of violence and further protects victims of domestic violence. Minister Prasad said the legislation will see an overhaul of the current Domestic Violence Act of 1996, with 40 proposed amendments, including the inclusion of both civil and penal components. The amendments also aims to expand the current definition of domestic violence to include economic, emotional, and psychological violence. Additionally, the proposed legislation will include penalties for breach of protection orders and require the inclusion of batterer intervention programs and counseling as remedies under the law. The government is heavily focused on identifying mechanisms to tackle domestic violence, which they believe will ultimately strengthen systems and modernize legislation and policies. In other news, a 59-year-old woman has been charged with threatening President Irfan Ali and attempting to incite hostility or ill will. Zelina Ali, also known as Kim Ali, appeared before Magistrate Sunil Scarce at the Diamond Grove Magistrates Court on Thursday, April 13th. Ali, a housewife from Golden Grove, East Bank Demerara, was seen on a video circulating on social media days prior, making a racial statement and using threatening language against President Irfan Ali. Ali was charged with attempting to excite hostility or ill will committed against Reynard Sobers and using threatening language committed against the president. Ali pleaded guilty to attempting to incite hostility or ill will and was fined $75,000. However, she pleaded not guilty to the second charge and was placed on $25,000 bail. The matter has been adjourned to May 18, 2023. The charges against Ali highlights the seriousness of threatening language and the attempt to incite hostility or ill will. It is important to remember that freedom of speech is not absolute and comes with responsibilities. On a different note, according to Vice President Jagdeo, Guyana's government has relaxed experience requirements for local bidders to contest 14 offshore oil and gas blocks. He said the move was designed to ensure more inclusivity in the auction process. The deadline for submissions, originally set for April 14, 2023, has been extended to July to allow for a thorough examination of legislation and the product sharing agreement. The government has also committed to a new PSA and the reformation of the Natural Resources Fund Act and new fiscal terms. The licensing regime has also been strengthened with EPA permits closer to international standards. Stick around when we return. Guyana welcomes home Carofesta champions and GPAC reports significant increase in CT scans following free scans to patients policy.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's credit and And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hey, this is your fancy vehicle and it's your house?
Yes, this is my vehicle and actually I'm waiting on my land. I'm actually renting this house for $50,000.
$50,000? You head more? You crazy? You mad? You head no good? Why you buy? Look, let me show you the light. Come with me.
Come on down to Fabulous Homes today. Pay $50,000 every month for 36 months or until you reach 50% of your house costs. Move in after 75% of the cost has been paid.
This is wonderful. Let's go. Sign me up.
Alright, let me go and dash away your landlord.
To explore our home ownership program, check our Facebook page for more information or come down to our office at Avalon Friendship.
Hey, Chinese, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
You got through?
Yes.
Call us at 227-1380 or 615-8740. Fabulous Homes International Realty, changing tenants into homeowners.
At Fabulous Homes, we bring your dreams to life.
Welcome back. Guyana celebrated the return of their Carafesta Games champions from the 50th Carafesta Game in Nassau, Bahamas on Thursday with the pride and appreciation after they secured 3 golds, 2 silver and 3 bronze medals. Tiana Springer, Anisha Gibbons and Javon Roberts were among the gold medalists. Robert and Atoya Harvey won silver medals, while Trevor and Hammer and Sion Booker and Ezekiel Saul secured bronze. Rika Noel also dominated the Carafesta Swimming Championships in Curacao, winning 5 gold medals. The Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, Charles Ramson, joined the head of the National Sports Commission, Steve Nenville, family, friends, and other sporting officials at the brief welcoming ceremony held at the Jagdeo International Airport. Ramson welcomed the champions and lauded them for representing Guyana in the best possible way. The Carafesta Games is an annual athletic competition featuring track and field sports. In other news, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation has reported a significant increase in the number of computed tomography or CT scans conducted monthly. This is according to Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, advisor to the Minister of Health. Previously conducting only a few hundred scans per month, GPHC is now performing close to 2,000 scans per month due to a policy implemented by the government in November of 2022. The policy allowed for all CT scans at the facility to be conducted at no cost to the patient and administered based on the urgency of the issue. Previously, the cost of a CT scan ranged from around $15,000 to over $50,000 in some instances, which created a financial burden for many patients. Multiple patients have lauded the move, stating that it greatly assists in lifting the financial burden of healthcare. Dr. Ramsamy noted that the government is currently working to modernize and transform the health sector. A series of new measures are being implemented, which will see every person in Guyana receiving access to high quality and affordable health care over the next few years. The increase in CT scans at the GPHC is just one of the many steps taken to improve healthcare in Guyana. Don't go away after the break. Health workers in Mozambique launch awareness campaign on cholera, and Chinese report highlights risk for struggling economies.
Celebrity Pure Vegan Cuisine and Bar. We say vegan, we speak about 100% vegan. No dairy products, no MSG. From the cheese, the butter, the milk, everything we use here, it's vegan. Our breakfast, some of the special we have for breakfast: porridge, fried plantain, we have boil and fried katahar, boil and fried cassavas. We have soup of the day, which you all know. The main thing in that soup is the dry mushrooms as well as the bean curry. Young okras is a must with full ground food, split peas and everything up in that. Coconut milk is the main thing. Then we have the lunchtime. Some of the main dishes the people already is hitting on: the split peas cocoa rice, basmati and quinoa mix. A lot of people don't know what's that, but you come down here, you get it. It's a replacement of rice and a great substitute in the vegan business. Then we have dal, corn, okra and carrots, edo leaves, chanchi down in coconut milk. There's so many side dishes, but one of the special things is the chicken that we make right here. We make sweet and sour chicken, strip chicken, jerk chicken. All of that is in-house, made right in here from scratch. In the evening, you know everything is up. We also carry a large variety of organic and natural products. Some of the products that we have here is the yam. The hemp, that one is a very important product for the body. Proteins and everything to the max. We have the Cholera. This also is very good for the body. We have the spirulina. Spirulina is very good for everyone, but men benefit a lot from that. After the spirulina, we have the maca powder. These are all organic and natural powders for the body, especially when you're getting up there in age. You use these things as supplements. Black seed oil. On the internet, it said the only thing the black seed oil don't cure is death. And there are many more products that we have there, full variety. We have the natural juices we also make. We have from like the sorrel juice, the pineapple juice, mabi, ginger beer. All these things make from the bark or the natural powder. We do not use concentrate in this cuisine at all. Everything we do it natural. Also at the Celebrity Pure Vegan Cuisine, we have a well-stocked bar. Some people choose to have a drink when they finish eating. We need to make sure that they're comfortable and happy when they're leaving this place. So we do our best to provide the services that we think is required. Remember, this place are fully AC and we cater for weddings, all occasions, birthday parties, anniversaries. So we set the place so that everyone can come, feel right and understand what's happening. Come right down to the Pure Vegan Cuisine and Bar, 198 Camp Street again, and you will find everything you need to live to be healthy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Argentina has one of the world's highest inflation rates. It is struggling to comply with the requirements of an International Monetary Fund loan. The IMF expects the economy will grow by only 0.2% this year. Al Jazeera's Teresa Boer reports.
Struggling with constant inflation has become a part of Amalia Barraza's daily life. Her meager salary as a housemaid is barely enough to care for her 4 children and pay for basic services.
It is so difficult lately. We are not buying many things like beef or chicken that have become too expensive. But I don't lose hope that things will change so we can all live better.
Amalia lives in a very poor neighborhood in Buenos Aires. It is in areas like this where the impact of spiraling inflation is hitting the hardest. On the streets, many blame the current government of Alberto Fernandez and the IMF.
Argentina is struggling with over 100% inflation in the past year and rising poverty. This country has had over 20 programs with the International Monetary Fund. It has defaulted on its debt 7 times in its history and until now has been unable to resolve the chronic problems that exist in the economy.
Trade union leader Hugo Godoy says the problem is that Argentina is constantly trying to solve its problems in the same way.
The government is tight and under the control of the IMF, and the plan for Argentina is only about increasing inflation and generating a recession at the expense of the poor, because it always goes back to implementing austerity measures.
In 2022, the government and the IMF signed an agreement renegotiating the $44 billion debt former President Mauricio Macri acquired in 2018. It was the largest loan in the fund's history. The new deal includes an economic program that Argentina must comply with in order to receive disbursements every 3 months. The problem is that the COVID pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and the worst drought in years have further complicated the economy, making it more difficult for Argentina to meet its obligations.
When you look at the new agreements and you consider how the agreements have been in the past, it has been much more flexible. And with the war and the drought, all agreements were reviewed and adapted to the economic reality. The fund today is not the problem, and it's not the salvation you need to fix certain problems in the economy.
Argentines are longing for economic stability. Exchange rate controls, constant price changes, and economic hardship are having a huge impact on people's lives. But the crisis and the uncertainty over the presidential elections scheduled for October are unlikely to bring the changes people here so desperately need. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Internationally, healthcare workers in Mozambique have launched awareness campaigns to help stop the spread of cholera. It is the country's worst outbreak in 20 years, just weeks after Cyclone Freddy hit the country twice in February and March. Al Jazeera's Famida Miller reports.
These health workers say making people aware of the spread of cholera is the best way to keep them safe. In the district of Mwamba, they're going door to door, telling people their drinking water may be infected and should be boiled before use.
We do door-to-door visits. We talk about sanitation and explain to them how to use soap and how to keep the water clean for consumption by giving them chlorine. The community are adhering to it very well.
Many homes in this rural area don't have running water. People collect water from a river to use for drinking, bathing and cleaning. The water is untreated.
We fear the water, but we don't have any other way. Here in Mwamba, there is a shortage of water. The population around here use this water. We know that there is cholera, but we don't have any alternative. We use it for drinking, cooking and washing.
Aid agencies are working to assess and treat water sources, but haven't reached all the affected areas. Along with the government, they're vaccinating people in the worst affected regions. This is Kilimani, a seaport, where authorities say the number of cases of cholera has risen alarmingly. It's worsened after Cyclone Freddy devastated the area last month, impacting health services. The government plans to distribute 2 million vaccines this year and is immediately targeting more than 400,000 people.
Cholera is a waterborne disease and contagious. It causes severe dehydration, vomiting and other symptoms. And many here are worried that if cases continue to rise, small health facilities like this one won't be able to keep up.
Famida Miller, Al Jazeera, Mwamba, Mozambique.
And finally, China has spent more than $200 billion bailing out struggling countries as part of President Xi Jinping's signature Belt and Road Initiative. That is according to a new study into Chinese lending programs, which highlights the risk for debtors. The Belt and Road Initiative is expected to continue growing, and as it does, it is likely to face increased international scrutiny. Al Jazeera's Richard Kimber reports.
Ambitious proposal to link Asia to Europe and the rest of the world through a network of infrastructure development. Since launching in 2013, China's Belt and Road Initiative has expanded into Africa, Latin America and beyond, and significantly broadened Beijing's reach.
There's been clearly and openly a geopolitical dimension in these projects, which is very, very, very simple. It's to increase China's influence in the global south and to enhance and deepen global south countries' dependence upon China, to turn those countries into Chinese friends and Chinese allies.
A study by the World Bank, Harvard, Aid Data and the Kiel Institute suggests many participants have been struggling to repay their loans, and that Beijing is now lending some of them even more money to bail them out. Between 2008 and 2021, China extended loans worth $240 billion as part of the Belt and Road Initiative. More than $100 billion of that came between 2019 and the end of 2021. Beneficiaries included Argentina, Pakistan, Kenya and Turkey. The global economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine, combined with rising interest rates, has intensified recipient countries' debt struggles. The study shows that borrowing money from China doesn't come cheap. Researchers say the average interest rate for a Chinese rescue loan is 5%, compared with 2% for a bailout from the International Monetary Fund. Despite that, some analysts say Beijing's funding model is more attractive for developing nations.
China saw the way for this developing country to grow is through infrastructure, and is a much more direct and much more, result-oriented way to help this country.
China has pitched the Belt and Road Initiative as a development project to benefit the global economy, saying it always abides by market rules and international law and never forces countries to borrow money or pay it back. But there are still concerns about a lack of transparency.
China prefers, as you know, to negotiate bilaterally with the global south and in a multilateral setting. So that's where we are, and it's a complicated situation for both China and the international community now.
The Belt and Road Initiative is expected to continue growing, and as it does, it's likely to face increased international scrutiny. Richard Kimber, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. This concludes today's headline news update. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. with our next broadcast. For more news and updates, visit our Facebook and YouTube pages. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other, and do have a wonderful weekend.